Let me see if he's in here. There we are. Sit. Go. There we go. Let me see if he's in here. Oh, sweet.
We got
There
it
it
clear.
goes. There we are. Okay. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Crap. I have to I don't know how I'm gonna get this phone. What if it? Oh shit! It won't let me turn it sideways.
It's like the only place I could find in my house that was nice and quiet, so we're just gonna make this work for now.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna have to hold the phone like this though. That sucks.
It's all right, brother. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, um, shit. Oh shit! I got it to.
Got it
I
to
have like
work?
I have like that little thing on the back of my phone,
Yeah, a little
and
pause type of thing?
it's just like it's just like sitting on my laptop now.
Hell yeah, that'll work.
Hell yeah. So, um, shit, and that's the phone I was gonna use for all my notes. Um,
No, we'll sit down on tomorrow and go make sure we got the next time better.
yeah, I don't know.
A lot of
You've
weird stuff
never
going on.
you've never done this before either.
I haven't. I
No.
haven't. I've seen a lot of live. Never been part of the YouTube live, so it's definitely a learning experience.
What kind of stuff do you watch live?
Same
Like,
thing. A lot of gaming stuff, a lot of Raider stuff, a lot of really random things that I come across on the internet, but mostly it's Raiders and gaming stuff.
yeah, mostly I watch mostly Raider stuff. Who do you watch? Do you?
Really, I don't watch anybody specifically. Um, I used to have the specific channels I follow, but I don't know. I like to mix it around, get a lot of different opinions on things. So um, I tune into anybody who's willing to preach. And there's a lot of us preaching right now, so it doesn't make it hard.
That's tight. That's tight.
Yeah.
Um,
You watch anybody specifically?
so I watch Mitchell Renz
Okay.
from um Chat Sports,
Yep.
um Graphic Raider,
Mm-hmm.
Docs ENT, um Wasted Talent. Uh, dang, there's like Raider Honcho. Have you ever heard of Raider Honcho?
I have actually. Yeah.
Dude, he's he's funny.
Nah,
Um,
there's a lot of us, man. There's a shit ton of us.
yeah, that's yeah.
A couple
Uh,
annoying of us. A couple of us are annoying, like Raider Cody. Raider Cody's a little annoying.
I haven't really watched him. I've watched Raider John a couple times. Spotlight Raider.
Okay.
Um, uh, they have like the group. They have like this group called Mount Shieldmore,
Okay, that's cool.
and it's Wasted, Docs, Andy, and Hammer's House.
Oh, okay.
Those guys are pretty cool.
Hell yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't even know they had that.
yeah. They get together like once in a while. But yeah. So what do you think about this Derek Carr situation?
I think the I think it's maybe even a year or two overdue. I was a big fan of Carr forever. Um, and I think mainly that was my just Raiders mentality kind of clouding me. The fact that he was a Raider, I think I wanted to make him a lot better than he was. And I think we gave him his chances, man. We gave him the weapons he needed. Um, I get it. This wasn't the ideal situation, with different coaches, different receivers, different playbooks almost every year. But there's certain things you can't teach. You can't teach how to scramble within the pocket. You can't teach how to, make the throws under pressure. And I think that that's what he was lacking.
Yeah.
I think we gave him more than enough time, more than enough excuses, and these last 2 years he hasn't done anything with it. So I think this is the right move. Maybe it could have been handled a little bit better by the organization, potentially, but I think it was more than fair. I think
Yeah,
it's more than fair.
it sounds like the way that they set up the deal in the beginning was almost like a 1 year prove it.
Right.
Like here's Devonte Adams, your best friend. He's one of the best. We're gonna give you him, spend the money, and see what you can do. And then like Josh Jacobs like killed it, man. Like the leading rusher with over 1,600 yards, and
Oh, he was
I
incredible.
kind of feel the same way, man. It's overdue.
I think so too, and not so much overdoing the fact that, hey, we wanted you to win us the Super Bowl right out the gate, but no, it's been 8 years. We've only gone positive twice. Something has to give, man.
Uh,
Something has to give. So I agree. I think Josh Jacobs is mainly a big reason in the fact that Carr is leaving. Because we have to pay somebody, man, and I want it to be Jacobs.
yeah, I'm in that same boat because I was before the year started. I was kind of like leaning towards like
Getting rid of
because
Jacobs.
yeah, because like they were they picked up like what like Amir Abdullah.
Hmm.
So we had Jacobs. Now we
Right.
had Amir Abdullah. Then they picked up Amir Abdullah.
Yep. And
Then
then we
they picked
drafted
up
Isaiah.
yeah, they drafted like two or three, but we
Yep.
only so we ended up with Amir Abdullah, Jacobs, Zeus, Britton Brown, which I don't think he ever saw the field.
He didn't. I
Um,
don't. I don't even think he saw preseason.
and then Old Man Bolden. Um, and like I mean, you had all these running backs, so it was kind of like it didn't look like we were gonna re-sign him or whatever. And then he just like completely balled out.
I think he knew, man. He knew every time he touched that rock, that's money in his hand. Um,
Did
and
you
I
see his
really hope.
interview?
Yeah. Is
Dude, his interview was dope.
it
He's all
is.
like I remember him. They were like, "What did you think about the franchise tag?" And he or not the franchise tag, but declining the 5th year option. And he was like, "You know what? I honestly didn't want the 5th year option. Because then he'd be 1 year older." He said, and then and then the franchise tag him like twice or
Yeah.
whatever. So I thought that
Exactly.
was interesting.
Yeah, and and I'm sure it frustrated him and made him angry, but he's not going to say it in the interview either. Maybe that's what lit the fire underneath him. Maybe that's what made him say, "All right, these guys don't think I can do it," because nobody did. Let's be honest. From a Raiders
Yeah.
fan, I was wishing the best, but I didn't think Josh Jacobs would come out and have the year he had.
Well, as many years as I've been watching him, I've never seen him stay healthy for
Correct.
the full season. You know what I
I
mean?
never seen him put every single game on the line like he did this year.
Yeah, like every year it always seemed like he was injured for at least 2 or 3 games,
Yeah.
and even then he was always hitting like those 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
So it
Exactly.
was kind of like dang, like he really is a baller, but
He's right there.
yeah, he's like right there, like so it was kind of like cool watching him be healthy and then like getting like he had so many games where it was like 150 yards 150 yards 130
Yeah.
yards
180 yards, and then
Eh,
I think that, yeah, this is the best we've ever seen him. I hope he doesn't get paid and get laxy daisy, kind of like Waller did. Um, and even then, just kind of since we're on that whole topic of things, Waller, I really wanted to get rid of him until he came back those last 3 games, and it's like, all right, I remember why this guy's on the team. Uh,
yeah.
I think Waller and Jacobs definitely a big part in Carr's absence this next season. Jacobs because he has to get paid, man, and then Waller. I think any idea we had of getting him off the team is no longer a thing.
Do you Let me ask you a question. Do you think that they'll franchise tag him, or do you think they'll give him some kind of a deal?
I think it depends on where this offseason goes. Um, I think he won't get a deal right now. I think it's coming up, and I feel like if we still have the ability to franchise tag him after we give out these deals that we need to get. We need a quarterback. We don't know which way we're going to go with that yet. We need a lot of things on this team. We need a whole new defense. So I think there's a good chance we franchise tag him. I think it would make sense. Uh,
Yeah. When they asked him about it, he came out and said, you know, he was like, I don't want to get franchise tagged, but if they're willing to franchise tag me and bring in the right pieces, and he mentioned defense and a quarterback, he was like, I'll take the franchise tag, if they're willing to bring in the pieces. But he literally said at the end, he was like, dude, like, but if you don't do that and you're expecting me to like be Superman, like you're gonna have to pay me to carry the team.
yeah,
Kind of, it's
what it
kind of
is.
like what he was saying.
Yeah,
So, which is really kind of, it's kind of neat to kind of hear that, because like he said he wants to retire a Raider. So if they're like, okay, we'll franchise tag you to save a little bit of money so that we can get like a all-star defensive tackle and kind of build up the defense, and then
oh shit,
but then
sorry.
the other question is, who will be the quarterback?
I think that's the big elephant in the room. But before we jump right on that, where do you think we go as far as defense? Um,
Free
I think that's
agency
our big need.
or
Obviously, we need a
draft.
quarterback, but defense is our huge need right now, man. I think our offense will be fine with just a good quarterback.
Mhm.
That's all we really need. Maybe beef up the O line a little bit, add a little depth because they seem to always get hurt.
Yeah,
But other than that, we're solid in every position, man.
yeah.
On the offense, but defensively, we're below par in almost every position. I think the only
So, so,
go
so
ahead.
your question is, for filling the holes on the defense. Are you talking about in the draft or free agency?
I think both. I think we have more than just filling in holes, brother. I think we have to not completely reconstruct this defense, but I think there has to be a pretty big reconstruction. I think we're below average in almost every position besides
Yeah.
the line. Crosby brings a lot to the table. Chris Jones was coming along, or I'm sorry, Chandler Jones was coming along towards the end of the season there.
Yeah.
Uh, it was also very underwhelming the whole 3 quarters of the first of that season. Um, I think Hobbs is a good cornerback. I don't think he's that guy that's going to take the wide receiver one every game. He is definitely a slot receiver. We saw that in the last few games he came back. He was getting burnt.
Yeah.
Mm.
I I think if it was me, where I would start is
Uh-huh.
I would re-sign a couple guys.
Okay.
The first thing I would do is, um, I really liked Deron Harmon
I did too,
as
actually.
as
Yeah.
as our safety. I think with him, and then Merrick. Um, I'm not with overpaying Teamer any longer. But if you can draft a third guy and kind of see where he fits in there with those two, I think that'd be great, because this is the first. As bad as our defense was, there was games where they kept us in there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
They came
Like
in when
like
we needed it.
like that Steelers game when they held them to 3 points for freaking 3 quarters. Like, dude, that like later on in the year, I guess you could say like the last half of the season, you could tell really like the defense started to gel a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, Deron Harmon for me was like a bright spot for the year. Um, I kind of, I kind of really like, and this is only for depth. Okay,
Right.
I I I'm kind of hoping that they re-sign Perryman.
Oh no, I think Perryman is a beast. I agree.
Yeah, even though he's like a little bit injury prone at his
Yeah.
age,
He
but
is,
he's still like, just, it's kind of exciting to watch him just go in there and just boom, just lay
dude.
dudes
He's a
out.
he's a heat-seeking missile.
Yeah,
Once you see him get north and south, it's over. He's headhunting, and I think he is a big part in the way this team gelled. You could tell he was that captain.
yeah,
Everybody, not looked up to him, but he was definitely a physical role model on that defense. He played with that Raider mentality we were so used to seeing for
yes, and
years.
that's what I was gonna say, man. Just like we were talking about the other day, he
Yep.
has like that old school like Raider, like, dude,
Hit you in the
come
mouth.
at me, bro. Like, come at
Yeah,
me.
I
Let's
agree.
get it.
I think we need more of that. I think
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at too.
I agree. I think we thought Jonathan Abram was going to be that for us, and he was. He was that hit you in the mouth, the let's ball type of dude. He just didn't have the football IQ that we were looking for.
Yeah, he would. If he learned how to cover, it'd have been so much better. But dude, we seen like the year before last, he couldn't even cover a running back.
Yeah,
He was getting burned by Kansas City with their running backs, dude. I'm like, dude, like you're a safety, bro. Like, what are you doing?
I
You
thought he
know?
played a lot better once we brought him in as almost like a linebacker when he was in that box. Um,
Yeah,
but as a safety, we can't have you in the box every play,
yeah,
unfortunately. That then you're a linebacker at that point. Um,
yeah,
so I think we do need that Raider mentality back a little bit. We used to be that guy that even if we sucked, man, we would win 2 games a year. But I'll tell you what, they were scared as hell those 2 games. They were scared
yeah,
as hell those 16 games because they knew we were headhunting. They knew we were out there trying to get you. Uh,
yeah,
and that adds to the Raider mystique. Believe me, I'd rather win than have the Raider mentality. But
yeah.
um, I did like him, man. That's why most of us are Raiders fans. We're the bad guys of the league. We're
We're
the
the
underdogs.
bad boys of the league.
Exactly, man. We're the dark team. We're the dark side. So um,
We used to be like the most penalized team because we didn't give a crap.
yeah, dude. You have Rolando McClain body slamming dudes, and so,
Dang, that was like he was a linebacker, wasn't he?
he was a middle linebacker for 2 years, and then we sent him to Dallas.
I think at one point he was like our only good linebacker.
He was, man, and he was an athletic animal, but he just couldn't. Same thing. Had no football IQ. He was another Jonathan Abram.
I think I remember a game where after we got rid of him, he picked off Derek Carr for a TD or something like that. I don't remember what year that was, but I was like, dude, like really? He
No, that seems to be the Raider way. We have some guys that are below average that we are supposed to be good, and we get them out of here, and then they're solid. Shelby Harris, we sent him to Broncos, and that dude is balling over there, and he was terrible with us.
Yeah, he's he was with the Bucks at one point, wasn't he? After he left.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. He didn't go directly. We didn't trade him inside the AFC West, of course.
Oh, I think man, I think he was next to Dominic Sue
Yeah,
when
that sounds
Sue
about
was.
right. That
Dang,
sounds about right.
dude, that's a crazy D line.
It is, man. I think we need a crazy D tackle too. Somebody big. I want a huge, just beefy. I think so long we were so used to the athletic guys, like the guys that look like Richard Seymour that just are athletic. But I think we needed just a huge Vince Wilfork type of dude, an anchor on that D line is what we need.
Somebody that can
Leonard
get to the
Williams.
quarterback.
I'm not even, man. I think if we have a solid D tackle, I think the quarterback belongs to Crosby and Jones or whoever we put on that backside.
Hmm.
Um, we need somebody that's going to anchor that line, stop that run, fill at least a hole or two.
Do you
And
think
that's
with
what was
do
that?
you think do you think with Carr off the books, they'll go after like a top DT in free agency, or
No,
do you think they'll spend it on a corner?
to be honest, I don't think. I think I don't think we go out after anybody elite. That's just kind of the Ziegler and McDaniel's mo. You saw it on the Patriots. How many times did you see the Patriots going after a top two, top three guy in their position ever? I think Devontae was a shot in the dark to try to get Derek Carr to ball out. Um, but these guys don't do that, man. They get solid players all across the board rather than some all right players and elite guys. So I really, as much as I hate to say it, as much as I would love to see us go after some, top five guy, I don't see us doing that.
So do you think they do that to save money?
Yeah, save money, and I think they're smart. Yeah, same money. It's a money game. I mean, if you can have you have 10 million and you can spend 2 million a guy for five guys rather than 8 million on one dude and then 2 million on the rest of the team. I think and that's not those aren't real numbers, they're just metaphorically, but
Yeah.
I think they're smart in that aspect of it. We saw the Patriots dynasty last for how long that way? dude, they would get these average wide receivers, Wes Welker, Julius Edelman, who now look amazing because I mean there's a scheme they were going, but
Yeah.
they take these nobodies and make them somebody, man. And
I kind of like it. I kind of like it compared to like the John Gruden idea, which would be to like grab somebody on the cheap that's like at their last 2 years.
right in the
You know
league,
what I mean? And then like, I remember one year we had like the oldest team in NFL because like every dude that he grabbed was like 30 something, 35, corners. Do you remember when we had a what Dominic Rogers Cromartie or whatever?
yes, I do.
And
I
I
remember
like,
that entire
dude,
season, man.
yeah, and like everybody on our defense was all old, and we just kept getting burnt toast all day, man.
Well, I remember when
Yeah.
that one year when we went and got all these name dudes, but again, last year of their freaking football career, we had Antonio Smith, who was a legend with Houston. We had Tyron Woodley, who was a legend with the Steelers. We got Justin Tuck, who was a legend with the Giants. All three of those dudes were on the same D line, and we had no pressure on the quarterback.
Dude, that's crazy to think about, bro.
It
That's
is, man. I
crazy.
think I think you're right. I think for once, I think we're starting to go younger on the team. Um, we're starting to get smarter with the way we do things. I think Mark Davis is definitely letting these guys do their thing. It's hard. Mark, I know people hate him, but he took over a dying franchise, man, and we're on our way back slowly but surely. It's gonna take time. I don't think it's Mark Davis's fault. I think he's making the moves that he thinks need to be made, and I don't know. We're just unlucky, man. I feel cursed. We got that
Yeah,
Al Davis curse on us, man. We can't do anything right. It seems like.
yeah. I feel the same way. I don't know why Mark Davis gets so much shit because, like, dude, like he's not one of those owners that likes to meddle. You know what I mean? Like the
Right.
Cowboys owner or whatever gets in there
Jerry
and
Jones is.
he's
Yeah.
yeah, like he's like, you have to do this, you have to do that. He's kind of more like, okay, I hired you guys, you
To
guys make
do
the
this.
decisions. You know what I mean? And I'll sign off on it.
They,
Because whatever vision they sold him when he hired them, like it sounds like it's gonna work. You know what I
right.
mean? Because all you kept hearing from Ziegler is like every decision we made in 2022 is about 2023. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like they're thinking ahead,
Yep.
and I like it. And um, the other thing I kept hearing from him was we got to figure out a way to um, be a sustainable winning franchise. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it sounds like they're trying to build for the future.
I know.
And
Yeah, they
and
definitely are. I can see it.
and before it was with John Gruden, it was just like, dude, like you never knew what you were gonna get besides old men.
Right. And that was John Gruden's mentality. He was that old school, straight up run north to south run, um, deep pass type of football. When it sounds cool. It sounds a coach that's the old school punch in the mouth football. Sounds great, but we're not playing old school ball no more, man. These dudes sitting from my couch, I could read the plays we're gonna run, and I'm not an NFL coach, man. You think if I'm not seeing what the fuck, how obvious we look from my couch, that some NFL coaches in school, I think he lacked a lot of innovation, which I think McDaniel's does bring. I saw some stuff. He brought some stuff out of the playbook this year that I'd never seen a Raiders quarterback do or Raiders running back do. Um, so I think we're going in the right direction. Um, it, it it definitely looks like more of a long term type of build. I don't see us being the team we want to be for at least another 2 years, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Um, as much as it sucks, I know we all want to see a Raiders Super Bowl before we die. But I think we're still a little bit ways out, but I think we're making the right moves. I think every year is going to be a step up from where it was this year.
it's
Um,
kind of crazy to think about because honestly, I don't think we're like that far off. Obviously,
we're not, man.
the quarterback situation is kind of up in the air right now because like I really think that they were going to go all in to get Brady, and then Brady retired. So then they're on to
Mhm.
Plan B, and I don't know if they're gonna try to go after Rodgers.
Right.
If they're well, I don't even know if they're gonna go all in for anything. I don't know if they're gonna just draft somebody young and then ride with them. Um,
I think it's. I don't think we are, man. I wish I like Rogers. I would like for him to come 2 years. Um, he's already denied the rumors. The Raiders have denied the rumors. They're saying it's not true. We haven't reached out to him. He's saying my agent hasn't been reached out by anybody yet. Um, I think with him being a free agent and everything, or not a free agent, but with him, sounds like he doesn't want to be with Green Bay anymore. Everybody kind of threw him in our direction, especially with Devontae. But
the all
uh,
team troll.
yeah, um, so I don't know. I think we're gonna go draft with this quarterback. If that's the case, we definitely won't be where we want to be for a while. But because if we go Rodgers, that's fine. He'll be. I mean, he's a good quarterback. But then that lasts what, maybe 2 years before he starts to get a little too old to play,
Yep.
and then we're right back at route one, man. And then we're having the same conversation in 2 years about who do you think we're going to get at quarterback. I think we're going to try to find somebody that's going to be around long run. We're in the AFC West, man. We pay Mahomes twice a year. We play Herbert twice a year. Wilson twice a year, who hasn't been that good, but Sean Payton might bring that team back to life. We have a lot riding in our league, man, and guys that are going to be around for a while. Really young guys. So I think we need somebody that's good and is young too. It's the only way I see us being a factor in the AFC West for the next at least 5 or 6 years.
How would you feel if they re-signed Stidham for the cheap
Hmm.
and then drafted a young guy and then started off the year with Stidham and then just built the defense?
I think that's the right move.
Yeah,
I think that's the smart move.
I
I think Stidham is an average quarterback. I think and and hands up to him, he came in and did his thing at the end of the season. It's not easy. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I think he's an average quarterback, and um, I think he can hold the team together for while a young quarterback learns the position. He learns the pace of the NFL, learns the playbook, learns builds the chemistry with his team. I think that's the safest option. I
man,
think it's the best option for us financially and just long term.
I I kind of feel like that too because like I don't want them to go out and get like a Jimmy G
Yeah,
and then he's injury prone.
right.
You know what I mean? And
I
then it's
agree.
like, dang, and then you got to go with Stidham, and then you got to go with the rookie, and then at the end of the
Yeah.
year, you're like, then it's like a quarterback battle to see who's going to start the following year. I think you're right, man. I think the way to go would be just to um, re-sign him on the cheap. He already knows the playbook. Um, he was just having somebody that can get outside the pocket to extend the plays was enough for me. I'm like,
It
wow,
was
this is
huge.
it was just like you could see like the atmosphere just change. He took that.
We were no longer we weren't two dimensional no more.
Yeah.
We were a three-dimensional team at that point, and it's something we've been lacking for years. We've seen Carr do little bits of it. We've seen him, show some signs of that, but he never actually would do it right.
Yeah.
And even when he did, we were always a little nervous, right? He was a fumble monster, man. You could shoot late tackle him like we saw against the Bengals, and that ball was coming out. So even if he did get out the pocket, I don't think any of us were very comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Uh, with that being said, let's say that's the route we go. Who do you think we go draft wise? First
Draft.
round, seventh overall. Who do you think we're drafted?
Ooh. So if they have Stidham picked, I would like us to grab best defensive player, like the top corner, Cam Smith or something.
Uh huh.
Um, I mean, the dream would be to have Jalen Carter, that defensive tackle.
Right. I think he's gonna
Um,
go like second overall,
I
though, man.
know, I know. That's why I said it would be like a dream. But from what I'm hearing, to trade up to try to get him, you'd have to trade more to get him than to get Rogers if you're going to trade for Rogers.
Right.
So I would go like the top corner. That's
Okay.
something we haven't had. Um, I would not want them to go after an Ohio State. cornerback, just
I
because we
agree.
always have like the worst luck with them.
Yep.
But I'm thinking like a Cam Smith or that Ringo dude, or I don't even know some of those names. Joey Porter, somebody, just
There
somebody
we
who's
go.
like at least 6 foot and has like that speed.
That
And
athleticism, dude. A
yeah,
Jalen Ramsey type of guy, a Gardner type of dude.
yeah, like dude, somebody that can cover and turn the ball over.
I
Um,
think we struggled with that for so many years.
I
Even
know,
drafting high in the draft, we just couldn't scout defensive talent for shit.
I
I
know.
think we got Khalil Mack was obviously a great pick, and Crosby. Other than that, who have we drafted on the defensive side of the ball has been good. I don't know if it's our
How?
luck. I don't know if it's our scouting options. Diablo was supposed to be a beast. I think he's below average. I'm not even a big fan of him anymore. Injury prone dude as well.
Yeah, is it true that Diablo was like, um, because he's a linebacker right now, right?
Yeah,
But was he like a safety in college?
yeah. He was playing safety in college.
See, and that's the thing that kind of bothers me about Gruden, is Gruden took players and just would like try to convert them to other positions.
Yeah, we saw it with
And
Leatherwood. Leatherwood was a guard, and he thought he would make a good tackle for some reason.
yeah,
Um,
like so that's one thing that I can say that I have confidence in our staff now, is like
mhm.
not trying to make somebody something that they're not. You know what I mean? Like um a linebacker is a linebacker. You know, a safety is a safety. We don't have to worry about somebody trying to, oh, we're gonna take a safety and turn him into a linebacker, and then
Yeah.
because you saw when we had Lamarcus Joyner or
Yep.
Joyner, he was like a safety and he did really good, and then they made him
Put him
like a
at corner.
nickel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put him in the nickel, and then it was like, what
Then
happened
he
to
sucked again.
Joyner?
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. I think that's a big issue with us. For some reason, we think it'll work. It never does. Doesn't work for anybody. It's worked very few times in the NFL. You don't see guys do that.
Do you think that they should re-sign Rocky Sin?
No.
No.
Personally, no. I don't think he was that good to resign. I know he was injury prone, and we didn't get a really solid look at him. But I didn't think he was playing the way he should. While he was starting, those few games, I think Hobbs played better than him. Um, if we can get him for cheap, yeah. But if he's asking to be paid like a top 15 corner,
Oh
I
yeah, no,
um.
definitely not. Is
So
there
we'll
is there
see how.
somebody out there? Is there
I don't think
somebody
there's
out there do you think they should grab if they don't get him, or if they don't resign him?
nobody off the top of the head, man. Nobody that's really coming into free agency that I think is a must have or would help us. Um, I'm sure we'll work something out. There's no way we don't address this defense. Um, but I don't see anybody remarkable that I think is going to really help us out this offseason, man. Unfortunately, it seems like a pretty low end free agency right now. And I might be wrong. I haven't looked too much into it. But is
That's
there
what I was
anybody
just trying to pull up.
you think there's anybody that you see would be a key factor in winning this next season?
Um, so I'm looking at the free agent list right now. I'm trying to see if so there's a young guy from the Tampa Bay Bucks that's a free agent, Jamal Dean.
Jamal Dean. Okay.
Um, he's 6'1", 206 pounds. Um, let's see. Um, I'm just scrolling. Uh, how would you feel if they brought over Marcus Peters?
I think my brother was actually just telling me that right now. Literally, he overheard and came and reminded me about Marcus Peters. But I don't know, man. I think he's a good guy. I think I mean, he's from Oakland. He's a real tough nose Marshawn Lynch type of Raider.
Yeah,
Um, but how many good years does he have left in the tank? Same thing with him. I think if we can get him for a good paycheck, then I think that's the way to go. But if he's requesting money like he was, 5 years ago, I don't think he's that guy.
yeah, definitely not.
And I think it's a money game right now. because there's so many pieces we have to fill in on that defense side of the ball. I think it's going to come down to money, which kind of sucks. I know we want elite players across the board, but with as many people as we have to replace, I don't think it's viable.
So let me ask you this: which positions would you be willing to spend some good money on?
I think linebacker, D tackle, and I mean quarterback. You kind of have to unless we go draft. Um, I think D tackle and linebacker is where our key where we kind of build up from. Um,
Okay,
I think
so
Perriman is good, but he's gonna be gone here pretty soon. And then a crazy D tackle is something we've been needing for years.
yeah, so there's two really top-notch defensive tackles out there.
Okay.
One of them is from the Eagles, Javon Hargrave.
Okay.
He is 29. He just had 11 sacks. Then the other one is Deron Payne, and I think so. Deron Payne is he's on the Commanders.
Yep.
Sorry, it's taking me for. Okay, there
You're
it
good,
is.
man.
Um, he had 11.5 sacks this last year. He's only 25 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Payne is the way to go here.
Uh,
I do
you
think the
know,
Commanders are gonna re-sign him though, which is why it's eh. But um, I think Payne is the way to go. I think with D tackle is something we needed like so bad, man. I think it'll
yeah,
really take pressure off Crosby. Um, Help him get his numbers up too. I think Crosby was the best defensive lineman in the NFL, and maybe it's my Raider bias, but man, you see him do some things that people just don't do.
yeah,
I know you see Bosa, who is a beast in his own way. Don't get me wrong, Bosa is incredible, but this Bosa has help on every point of that Niners defense. Crosby doesn't. Crosby is the focal point. Crosby is getting double teamed every play, if not triple teamed. He's getting chipped by a tight end, covered by the tackle, and then getting hit by that running back. I think he is the best player, and I think his numbers weren't there just because he was being singled out every single game.
yeah. Plus, it
It
doesn't help when Chandler Jones ain't getting pressure from the other side either.
probably the most underwhelming player I've seen in so long. It was incredible how bad he played that first 3 quarters of the season. Um, but really, when you look at the numbers, like everybody says, "Oh, well, last year he had this many sacks," and which he did, but then he had 5 sacks that first game, and then after that, it was like 1 sack every 3 games.
Yeah, I think it was. I think the game that he had was against like the Titans or something. He had
Yeah,
like he got to Tannehill like 5 times in one game, and
and
yeah,
then after that, he was below average again.
which kind of really sucked because if they would have, I was really hoping that they would just use him on maybe first down and
Yeah,
then put in like Tashawn Bauer or Malcolm Kuntz for
I
like
thought
two or
Kuntz
three
played
down.
well, man.
It's Kuntz, man. Every time he's out there, it always seems like he's making plays, but then like he's not really out there very long, you know?
Maybe we're building it up for next season. I don't know what their plan is. Um, I thought another young guy that played well was that corner, Palumalu's nephew, Polamalu.
Oh,
Yeah, I
is
think it
it
is Isaiah.
Isaiah?
Yeah, Isaiah Polamalu. He played well, man. Um, we saw him maybe like 13 snaps all year, and he made his presence known. It's another young
Yeah.
guy I think has some talent that we can build off of.
And
Um,
how did you feel about Luke Masterson?
I thought he played well for where he came in at that point in the season, how he came in. Um, I thought he did a good job. Coming from where did we get him? Fifth round, I think, or
Yeah,
fifth or sixth round. Um, and I thought he was a good. He played well. He wasn't some elite linebacker that you get in the first round or was a veteran in the league, but he played well enough to come up with the stop some plays. I thought his football IQ was well. He had the good instincts that you look for in a linebacker. I think he'd be a good LB2.
yeah,
I
me
don't see him
too.
as a starter, not on our team at least. Um,
Yeah, it would be nice to have Perryman, Luke Masterson, draft a decent guy, another young dude, and then just pick up like another somebody you can get on the cheap in free agency. Um, I know there's like Levante David. I don't know how much he's worth, but he's out there. He's from the Bucks. He's a
He's
free
getting
agent.
older though. I think.
Is he?
Yeah, I think
Oh
that's.
yeah. You know what? You know what? You're right. You're right.
He's getting
Um,
older. I don't know. Yeah, I think we stay away from the older guys for a while.
I want to say there was somebody else too that was a free agent that was younger. Let's see. Let me see if I can find a full list of free agents.
Alrighty.
Um, Lamonte David. Man, that how good is Orlando Brown, the offensive tackle from the Chiefs?
He is very good. I think he's their best offensive lineman.
Mm,
Um,
do you think they'll re-sign him, or do you think that he'll go into free agency?
I think he'll probably go into free agency. Chiefs are pretty notorious for not re-signing people. Um, I
He'll
think he
probably
will.
cost a lot, though. You think?
But yeah, as much as a tackle would cost, unfortunately, they're one of the lowest paid positions. They're one
Are
of the
they?
most, yeah, they're one of the most important too. But they're also one of the lowest paid. So
Because that would definitely fill a hole on the. You're cutting.
other than quarterback, that's probably our second big. How do you think Andre Smith played this season? Do you think he was a good center? Do you think that's somebody we look on replacing too?
Man, I, I don't know how I feel. He's still young, ain't he?
Yeah, he's very young. This was his second year, so he'll be
Second
he's like
year.
he's like 24, 25.
I think good centers are so hard to find. I mean, unless you can. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to spend. I might just. I don't know, man. I think I'd rather just keep him,
Yeah,
unless they plan on. Because I can't remember. I might have had him on my list of players to cut.
right.
If, but that's if they were thinking about putting Dylan Parham as a center, which I don't know if they were. But I know they were using Dylan Parham in all kinds of different positions throughout the year, um, which was a great free agent or a great
I agree.
draft this year.
I think I agree with you, man. I think I think he played well enough to not try to get rid of him. Um, but I feel like it's definitely doable if somebody comes in and outplays him. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think he's played well enough to keep on team. Again, I don't think he's Rodney Hudson, but I think he played well.
yeah. So
So at the end of the day, where do you think we go with quarterback? Let's say all bets are off. We're drafting a quarterback seventh overall.
seventh overall.
If that's the case, just say I'm not saying it is. If we're drafting a quarterback seventh overall, what do you think we're going?
Mm. I think since most of like the good quarterbacks are probably going to go within the top five spots, they'll probably
Most
just
likely.
grab who's ever like the top quarterback available. Maybe it's Anthony Richardson. Maybe it's
That's what I'm
Hendon
thinking.
Hendon
Decrease.
Hooker. I was watching highlights earlier of those guys.
They're
Um, man, just seeing how young they are and their little cannons that they have was kind of cool.
Yeah, well, these dudes came in and reinvented what we look at as quarterback. All the Mahomes, Lamar Jacksons, Kyler Murray's. That's what you look for in a quarterback now. You don't look for, unfortunately, these Andrew Luck type of guys who was could have been a Hall of Famer in my opinion, but um, I think every quarterback coming out here pretty soon is going to be like that. I think Anthony is going to be our best bet. Anthony Richardson, I think, is the one with the most physical ability. Um, and I think we take, like they did with Lamar Jackson, you take the guy with the stuff you can't teach. Um, and then from there, you kind of build on it. I don't want Bryce Young. Uh, I know, he's an Alabama quarterback, and Alabama quarterbacks
Yeah,
tend to be pretty well, but he's short, man. He's really small. We saw what's been going on with Kyler Murray and Tua. Both smaller quarterbacks can't stay healthy. Tua is like, I think he should be considering very heavily whether he stays in the league or not, but based on how it's gone for him injury wise. Kyler
Yeah.
Murray has been injured every single year he's been playing.
How long's he been in the league?
He's been in the league for 4 years, I believe,
4 years.
and he's been injured every single year. I think his rookie year was the only year he didn't get injured, um, and he played well, but nothing too astounding. So I think we go with the Richardson. I wouldn't mind C.J. Stroud either, but like you said, the Ohio State is not typically the route.
Yeah, I just want somebody. I just want somebody that can hit players in stride. Because like I was, watching Carr this season. I mean, especially against the Steelers, like every throw, like Waller and Renfro would have to like dance for, and that's kind of dangerous. Um,
I think it's
Somebody that can
dumb
read a
too.
field.
Somebody that can read a coverage, yeah. Somebody
Yeah,
that is can progress through the reads under pressure. I think
yeah,
Carr was an elite quarterback when there was nothing in his face. You left
yeah.
Carr with time, it was deadly. But who
Well, you
nobody?
seen him in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
just lighting it up.
But it's the NFL, man. You're not gonna have a clean pocket every play.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and that's the other thing. Pocket awareness too. Somebody that has
yeah,
some pocket awareness,
yeah.
just
Just
being
and
able
some
to.
grit, some Joe Burrow type of just or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. No, it's not hard, not easy to come by. But somebody who just has some grit to him, somebody who gets angry, somebody who has an attitude with him. He was too passive, man. Which I get. He was a good guy, like genuinely, but I need somebody that's gonna want to go out there and score, not somebody that's gonna want to go out there and play football. I want somebody that
Yeah,
wants to go out there and win.
I think that's like one of my biggest things with cars. He was always, oh, it's on me, it's on me. But then like when he's in the game, like he can't carry a team.
Yeah,
Like
agree.
he has to have time. And even in those games, like you seen when we lost to the Cincinnati Bengals, he had all that time. Nobody was within 5 yards of him, and he wouldn't roll out of the pocket to make a play. And then
Yeah,
he would just get happy feet and throw picks and into triple coverage and
he
just
got way too comfortable with Devontae. He would throw that thing. It could be like you said, triple coverage, and he's just throwing that up. Not even an accurate pass, throwing it up, and I mean, it's Devontae. He'll come down with those, but that's not what we need.
yeah. And then some of his throws were kind of dangerous too. Like when he was throwing it to Waller against the Titans, man, just not even putting him in like good
Safe spot.
positions
Yeah,
for health reasons too.
he's throwing it for that dude to get whacked.
Yeah, dude. Like that's dude. I can't even imagine being like Waller. Like, dude, don't do that to me. Like we're gonna have problems.
Running across the when you're running into he's running across the middle, man. He's not getting hit by corners. He's getting hit by these freaking Mike linebackers and these safeties coming down full head of speed. So I think quarterback is definitely obviously the main thing we need to address, but I think the defense as a whole, I'd say comes up as number two. There's a lot of holes that we have to address, but I think these next few weeks are going to be interesting. Um, I think it's going to be a fun off season. Mm, I don't know, man. So this is going to be the real first off season for Josh McDaniels. I know he had one last year, but he was still getting his feet settled in the organization, and he was probably more focused on getting his coaching staff assembled. I think this is the
Yeah,
first year we're going to see him really 100% dedicate onto this rebuilding this Raiders franchise. So,
yeah.
for some reason, I don't know what it is. I see Josh McDaniels as a long-term coach for the Raiders.
You
I
do?
know, yeah, I do, and I know people. I know what he did when he went to the Broncos. I know how this first season has gone for him, but I see him really rebuilding this thing, man. I see him really uh, coming together and being the smart coach he was with the Patriots. He was comfortable over there, man. He came to Denver and didn't have shit.
Yeah, and I think the way it sounds is like they just gave him too much power. Kind of like how Gruden had. Gruden had all that power and then just dismantled our whole team. And even though we had the perfect pieces to build off of, he just sent him
threw him away.
away and got draft picks and thought he was like a guru. Yeah, I would hate to see us get rid of another quarter or another coach after 2 years. I would rather just ride it out for like 5 or 6 and just kind of let them build and get their guys. Because once they have their guys, there's no more excuse.
Yeah,
You can't, if you have 3 or 4 years, then it's like, okay, you got your guys. Now what are you made of?
yeah.
You know,
I think he's smart, man. I think he does some. His play calling is good. I think he calls some plays that are solid. I know we saw a lot of little dumbed down passes on third and longs, but I don't think that was on him. I think that was definitely a quarterback read type of deal. Um,
yeah,
because the plays he calls, man, are good, and I think he um, has this team behind his back. Um, John Gruden, what he brought was that just Raider mentality, that just hard nosed, pissed off,
yeah,
which was cool. I liked it. I think Josh McDaniels is a little more intelligent about it. He's an intellectual person. He knows he learned from Belichick. Probably the best coach ever, in my opinion, statistically, is Belichick, and he kept him around for so long. And I know he would. I
that's the first comment I've ever seen on here.
Yeah.
I was
So
trying to figure out how to look at the live chat, but um, there should be a way to pull that up, but I don't know how to do that.
he was saying Derek Carr coming to New Orleans. The NFC South is a weak division, and the Saints are ready to win now with a good low line and a top 10 defense.
See, and
I think
I was kind of hoping for that. I was kind of hoping that they would make a trade for them, and
Well,
he could
I
stay
don't.
over there.
I know the Saints didn't offer him what he wanted. I don't think he's going to the Saints. That he would have made that move already. I think. Um, I see him going Jets. Um, I think Saints are still an option. I don't think he's gonna make you guys a Super Bowl contending team, unfortunately, brother. It's Derek Carr. I think he's better than what you have right now for sure. He'll make you look better, but I don't think that's the guy that you guys want or need.
It's so weird though because if he did go there, just by default, he would be like the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
they have nobody, so the Jets' first choice is Aaron Rodgers. Unfortunately, a lot of people's teams' first choice is Aaron Rodgers. My dog. Um, but Aaron Rodgers has already openly said he's not going to Jets. He
I honestly, I don't think it would be in Derek's best interest to go to the Jets
No,
because
I agree. I agree.
I do believe that they are a quarterback away. I do believe, and they have a great defense. But come on, if you're an average quarterback like Derek Carr, do you want to go from going up against Mahomes twice, Herbert twice, and Wilson twice to going up against Josh Allen twice, um, Miami twice, and the Patriots twice?
Yeah.
I don't, man. Plus, he's too soft. Um, I've heard of guys that are from New York. They say that their media is really harsh, and Derek Carr, he can't handle any
Any
kind of
criticism.
criticism.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he struggled this year is because it sounded like Josh McDaniels was criticizing him on his play. Well, you seen that one press conference where they benched him and he was like, he said something about we've been trying to be more accurate, you know, and we haven't been getting that from Derek Carr, so we're starting Stidham.
Yeah. I agree. So I know he took a second visit out there to New York. Um, I don't think he's there anymore. I haven't heard anything on it. I haven't really been looking into it either. So that might be a move for him. But he did make a second visit out there, which means something. But he also did make a second visit out to New Orleans. Um,
What do you think it is? Do you think he's just trying to get more money?
I think he's trying to make himself feel um, needed. I think he's trying to make it look like every team out there wants him, so a good team will try to go after him. Um, I think
Yeah.
he's looking for money. I think he wants a paycheck similar to what we offered him, and he's not going to get that anywhere. He's not going to come close to what we were trying to give him. Um,
And I think that's where he kind of screwed himself by not waiving his trade to the Saints because it sounded like they already had a deal in place.
yeah,
But because I already knew, like, dude, like he's not a $40 million a year quarterback, and I don't know if he did that in spite of us or really thinks he's worth that much, but yeah, he's not going to get 40 million a year.
Yeah. I think if that was kind of a direct shot at us, the way he did things, I think he's stupid because he screwed himself, and it only cost us 5 mil cap. So he still got cut, still not getting any money. Now he just looks like an asshole to the whole league, and it didn't cost us very much. But I agree with what you said, man. I think Tampa and Carolina are definitely some options for him too. Carolina might actually be one of the better options for him, aside from the Saints. Um, Maybe even Tampa. This dude does not play well in the cold. He sucks in the cold. Actually, so Carolina and Tampa might be the best options for him. Who will be the Raiders if y'all had to guess? I want to say Richardson, um, but I think it depends on how these next few days play out. What do you think? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I kind of like Richardson, or a Hendon Hooker, somebody kind of like low. I would rather kind of do what like you were talking about earlier, the under the low rate, the low key,
Yeah,
and go with like somebody like Hendon Hooker or somebody like that. Or if there's, man, dude, I just didn't want to have to go quarterback in the first. I wanted to go best defensive player available and then get somebody. How would you feel about trading back in the
if
draft?
if our compensation is good enough, I think we have a seventh overall pick. I'm sure some teams will want to take that route, but I think the only way we do it is if the compensation is good enough. If not, I do see us taking a quarterback that first pick.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that too. It would be nice to be able to, like, let's say we got like an extra second and a third or something like that,
Yeah,
or
that'd be cool.
I don't even know. I don't know what the compensation would be, but if you can get extra picks in the second and third, and then just take like a quarterback late in the first, and then go all defense the rest of the way, man, I would still be happy with that.
I agree. I think the only way that we don't go quarterback with that first pick is if Davis is available, which is I don't. Jordan Davis is going regardless. But there has been times we've seen it. Every year something happens in the draft to where this one guy doesn't go where he's supposed to, falls down. Um, if that were to happen, I think we'd take him over anybody. I don't see it happening though. Unfortunately, y'all don't see the Raiders trading up for Stroud or Young. No, I hope not. I think
It would
Young
cost a
is.
lot.
Yeah, and I mean Young is small, man. I don't know if you were here a little bit early in the live, but he's 5'11", 185, dude. Um, Officially, I know on like websites and stuff, they'll say he's 6 foot 200. He's 5'11", 185, and dude, for a quarterback that's small as shit. You see Kyler Murray, you see Tua, injury prone as fuck, and we don't need that at a quarterback. We
Can
need
he see over the line?
right, literally. I don't think he can, brother. Uh, I would like a Richardson. That dude's a tall, athletic guy. He has the stuff you can't teach, those football instincts, much like Lamar. That's who I want. Um,
Yeah, if they don't trade back, I would like to see us get Richardson. But if we trade back and he's not available, I would go Hendon Hooker,
yeah,
and then just go best defensive players after that. Because we're gonna need, like you said, we got all those holes. So you're gonna have to draft a safety, draft a corner,
yeah.
draft a linebacker, draft a you know
D tackle.
defensive lineman. You know what I mean? Probably they'll probably get like an offensive tackle at some point with all
Yeah,
those extra picks, you know. And then what I would do is I would try to get at least I would try to get man, at least one or two studs in free agency that you can spend the money on. Resign Jacobs so
yeah,
that, whoever the quarterback is can be like, look, we have a run game. We have Devontae Adams,
yeah.
you know.
We got Waller.
Um,
We got uh, Renfro, which I'm hearing rumors might not be a Raider for so long, but
I would rather give up. Who would you rather trade off, Waller or Renfro?
well, Renfro easily. I think Matt Collins is a good third as well. For
I'm
some
kind of
reason,
hoping they re-sign him.
Renfro made some shit happen. But I think Matt Collins is just a physical specimen, dude. That dude is like 2% body fat. He goes up and gets it. I think he's, in my opinion, he's the league's most improved player last year. From
Yeah.
where he was with the
Besides Geno Smith.
oh yeah, no, Gino takes it. Yeah, Gino had a baller year,
No,
but
but you're right though.
he
I actually would rather have I would actually rather have Mac over Renfro just
same.
because Renfro, the way he gets hit and stuff, like he's got really good hands. But my thing is like I don't like seeing the way he gets hit. You know, it scares the hell out of me. Out, but Hollins is a bigger dude. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? He could take those hits. Like you said, he can jump up.
yep.
So if we could trade off Renfro and get like an extra pick for him,
I
dude,
think we
that's
can get
more holes
maybe
you
a
could
third.
fill.
I think we can get a second or second's pushing it. Maybe a third round for Renfro. I'd take that.
Yeah, I would take it. I would take it in a heartbeat. Come back on the show after we signed. Mind you guys.
All right, we'll go live
Oh,
after
okay,
Derek
okay.
Carr goes somewhere, and we'll see, man.
Heck yeah, I'm down to do that. I'll go live after Derek signs
Hell
with
yeah,
somebody.
let's do it.
Hell
Once
yeah,
he gets signed, we'll get together and we'll plan another one.
yeah, I'm down with that.
That'll be good.
And then we could do another one for free agency as well.
Yeah, I think maybe
Thanks,
even like right
William.
before the
Shout
draft or
out to
right
you.
after. All right, peace out, Williams. We'll take it easy, brother. We'll see you soon. No, hell yeah, brother.
Okay, man.
That thing, I think that calls it for today. I got something to go do here in a bit, but I think we touched on a lot of good subjects. So we'll yeah, of course, brother. We'll stay in touch. Well, obviously we see each other every day, so we'll plan another one. Can you hear me?
Okay, man. You have a good one.
All righty, brother. You too.
Thank you guys in the chat.